हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
प्रभु जी, माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। जय शिला प्रभुपाद।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
दंडवत प्रणाम। जय प्रभुपाद। So I think we can
हरे
start.
कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Prabhu, दंडवत प्रणाम। Hashni माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। जय शिला प्रभुपाद. I'm thinking we can start, and maybe whoever joins later or maybe through recording, because the thing is, yeah, um, okay. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरू श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमस्तुते सप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Panchatattvaत्मकं Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So we will be finishing our Bhakti Shastri Nectar of Instruction discussions. The last three verse glorifies the importance of Radha Kund. They are very short verses, that's why we are covering all of them. Begins with Vaikuntha Janito Vara Madhupuri Tatrapi Rashotsavad Vrindaranya Mudarapani Udarapani Ramana Tatrapi Govardhana. So Vaikuntha Janito Vara Madhu means Madhupuri is Mathura, and Mathura Vara means higher. Mathura is higher than Vaikuntha, and Janito means because Krishna took his birth there. That's why Mathura is higher than Vaikuntha. Naturally, Prabhupada added. Prabhupada said that Vaikuntha is superior to material world, which is obvious. This verse begins with describing how Mathura is higher than Vaikuntha. Tatrapi Rasotsavad Vrindaranyam. Vrindavan is even higher than Mathura because of Krishna's Ras Leela pastimes happen in Vrindavan. Udara Pani Ramana Tatrapi Govardhana. And higher than Vrindavan is Govardhan because Krishna Raman means pastimes. There is a place in Vrindavan it's called Raman Reti because Reti means dust. Raman Reti means where Krishna and Balaram and all the cowherd boy they used to play. So Ramanath, Udara Pani refers to Krishna. So Krishna performed many Raman, many pastimes on Govardhan. Yesterday evening, I think we were discussing about something about how Lord Krishna loves Govardhan because so many unique and very loving pastimes of Lord Krishna happens on Govardhan. And that's why Govardhan is even higher than Vrindavan. Radha Kunda Mihapi Gokula Pate Premanrita Plavanat. Radha Kund stands above all as it is overflooded with. It says Prema. It is overflooded with nectar of divine love of Krishna, the Lord of Gokula. So, Srila Rupa Goswami, last verse we saw about the discussion of Raganuga Bhakti and Vairi Bhakti. And here now we are discussing about the importance of performing Bhakti. First, what is the highest place? And Radha Kund is higher than Govardhan because it is overflooded with prema. Kuryad asya virajato gritate sevam viveki nakaha. Then who is that intelligent person? Unwilling. It says Vivek. Vivek means intelligent. Nakaha is who is that intelligent person? Unwilling to serve Radha Kund, which is above the foot of Govardhan hill. So Rupa Goswami is first giving us gradation. He says Vaikuntha is higher than material world. Mathura is higher than Vaikuntha because Krishna appeared there. Vrindavan is higher than Mathura because Krishna's Rasila pastimes happened there. Govardhan is higher than Vrindavan because Krishna performed so many different pastimes there. And Radha Kund is higher than, is the epitome, which is at the foothill of Govardhan. But at the epitome of the highest of all places, still higher, stands above all because the water of Radha Kund is filled with prema. So where is that intelligent person who, understanding the glories of Radha Kund, is unwilling to serve Radha Kund? Now, something from the purports. Vaikuntha, situated in the spiritual sky, occupying 3/4 of the total creation, is the most exalted abode and is superior to material world. So Prabhupada also says many times, this material creation is 1/4 of the total creation. Mathura and the adjoining areas, although appearing in the material world, are superior to Vaikuntha because Krishna himself appeared at Mathura. So here, Prabhupada is mentioning Mathura on the earthly planet is even higher than Vaikuntha in the spiritual world, because we also hear that the Mathura and earthly planet is not different from Mathura there. They are one and the same. And Mathura stands above because Krishna himself, Vaikuntha, Narayan is there, but Krishna personally appeared there. Vrindavan is superior to Mathura because of the presence of the 12 forests, Dwadasavana, such as Talvan, Madhuvan, Bahulavan, which are famous for various pastimes of Krishna, including the Ras Leela. These are 12 forests of Vrindavan. Um, um, Talvan, where Krishna killed Dhenukasura because the friends wanted to eat tal fruits. Madhuvan, various pastimes of Lord Krishna happens there. Also, Dhruv Maharaj performed pastime in Madhuvan. Okay. And then Govardhan Hill is even more superior because Krishna lifted it like an umbrella to protect the Vrajvasis from the rain sent by Indra. At Govardhan, Krishna tends the cows with the Gopas and perform loving pastimes with his most beloved Sri Radha. All the pastimes with the Gopas and Gopis happen, so it is even more superior. Radha Kund is superior to all because Krishna's love overflows there, and Krishna's eternal loving affairs with Radharani, Rati Vilas, took place there. So advanced devotees prefer to reside at Radha Kund, the special storehouse of Krishna's nectarian love, Premamrita. Okay, so advanced devotees prefer to live at Radha Kund. The water of Radha Kund is full of Radharani's prema for Krishna and stands topmost. Lord Chaitanya searched for Radha Kund in his first visit to Vrajabhumi and finally found it and took bath there. Later, the pond was excavated by his devotees headed by the six Goswamis. Radha Kund was extinct when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to his Vrindavan visit. Mahaprabhu himself excavated only one holy place. Rest of the holy places were excavated by the six Goswamis, and that was Radha Kund. And Mahaprabhu himself showed the importance of bathing in Radha Kund, that he himself found that place, he bathed there. He bathed there. Then it was a very small pond. Later on, Raghunath Das Goswami and Jiva Goswami, they made it into very big of what it is now today. Radhakund can be worshipped only by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Its spiritual importance cannot be realized by other Vaishnava sampradayas or non-devotees. Like we know there are four sampradayas. We are Brahma, Gaudiya, Madhva sampradaya. But other sampradaya like Sri Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, they don't know the glories of Radhakund. It is specifically for Radharani's, like those who worship Radha and Krishna together in Gaudiya Madhva Sampradaya. Devotees endowed with true spiritual intelligence perform bhakti while residing at Radha Kund, either in their material bodies or in their spiritually perfected bodies. So, basically means those who are those who have spiritual intelligence or those who are advanced, those who have the mercy of Lord Krishna, they reside on the bank of Radha Kund and perform their bhajan there. One can reside in their material body or in their spiritually perfected body. Radha Kund exists simultaneously. This Radha Kund in Bhauma Vrindavan is same as Radha Kund which exists in Goloka Vrindavan in the spiritual world. Raghunath Das Goswami was performing his bhajan on the bank of Radha Kund here, and his aspiration was to perform bhajan or to serve Radha and Krishna on the bank of Radha Kund in eternal spiritual world. They are one and the same. In other words, even bhaktas who are very advanced, they can either physically reside there or they can reside there mentally and worship the divine couple. Again, this is a very advanced stage of bhakti. We discussed how the previous verse itself was too much beyond us, but people who have attained that kind of perfection and have realized themselves, they should reside on the bank of Radha Kund in their spiritual bodies, although physically they can be traveling around the world like sannyasis, but they can mentally reside there and perform their worship. or perform their sadhana. Srila Rupa Goswami, being fully conversant with the devotional sentiments within Lord Chaitanya's heart, has described service to Radha Kund as the topmost. That's what Mahaprabhu himself propagated. So Rupa Goswami, we say Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam, one who knows the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Rupa Goswami. He knows the mind and the heart of Lord Chaitanya. So he is describing Radha Kund or devotional service or devotion, at Radha Kund as the topmost. The glories of Radha Kund are incomprehensible and inaccessible even for the devotees who have taken shelter of Madhurya Ras, yet are devoid of devotion to Lord Chaitanya. It's very important because there are 5 rasas to Krishna. There is Santa Ras, Dasya Ras, Sakhya Ras, Vatsalya Ras, Madhurya Ras. Usually Radha Kund is most important place, those who want to have a relationship with Krishna in Madhurya Ras or loving pastimes. Radha Kund is specifically very important for them. But even those who are aspiring for Madhurya Ras or having those sentiments may not be attracted or may not take shelter or may not understand Radha Kund until they are devoid of devotion to Lord Chaitanya. Or bhakti to devotion to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will help us understand the glories of Radha Kund. Otherwise, although Radha Kund is there and we read it, we hear it, but we won't be able to connect to it. But we can connect to Sri Radha Kund once we start worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And every time we hear, we can approach Radha and Krishna or Radha Kund only through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the 10th verse, the glories of Radha and Radha Kund. All 3 verses relate to Radha Kund. So I will directly read the English. Scriptures say that Gyanis are dearer to Lord Krishna than the Karmis. Superior to the Gyanis are the Jnana Vimuktas, those who are liberated by Jnana. Among them, those who take to Bhakti are the best. Among such devotees, those who develop love for Krishna are greater. Better than them are the gopis, who are always dependent on Krishna, the cowherd boy. And among all the gopis, Srimati Radhika is the best. Just as Radha is dear to Krishna, her lake Radha Kund is also dear to him. So who wouldn't take shelter of Radha Kund? Now, the previous verse describes all the places and how place-wise Radha Kund is the best. And here, people-wise or personality-wise, Radharani is the topmost. So it says Karmis are great. We will discuss about them a little bit. Karmis are great, but higher than Karmis are Gyanis, who are looking for impersonal knowledge. Gyanis are great, but among the Gyanis, those Gyanis who are liberated, they are the best. Among the liberated Gyanis, those who take to Bhakti are the best. Among those who take to Bhakti, those who have developed love for Krishna are the best. So we have all taken up Bhakti, but then we may not have developed love for Krishna. So among all the bhaktas, those who have developed love for Krishna are the best. And among those who have developed love for Krishna, the gopis are the best because they are the example for everyone to follow. The deepest love for Krishna. And among the gopis, the love of Srimati Radharani is the best. And there is nothing beyond that. And Radha Kund is as dear to Krishna as Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani is dear most to Krishna among all the living entities, among all the tattvas, among all Shakti tattva, among all Jiva tattva, whoever. Srimati Radharani is the topmost devotee of Krishna. And that much value Radha Kund also holds. So we see 9th, 10th, 11th, you see Rupa Goswami Upadeshamrita, 11 instructions. Among them, 8 instructions he is given and 3 instructions only on the glories of Sri Radha Kund. Now, progressive levels of consciousness, Krishna's energies are threefold. Krishna has a spiritual energy, Krishna has a marginal and material. We also call it Tathastha Shakti, Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti. Bahiranga Shakti is Maya Shakti, Antaranga Shakti is Yoga Maya or spiritual, Para, and Tathastha is marginal, which is the living entities. The jivas under the spell of Maya work hard for sense gratification. Vishnu Puran says These are three energies of Krishna, but the living entities, they work very hard for some material desire. For some sense gratification. Prabhupada also says, recently we were discussing, Prabhupada said that this material world is a hard struggle for existence. Hard struggle for existence because just to exist, there is a lot of struggle. 2 months we don't have a job and then our life seems like crashing down with all the bills and the loans and everything that we have. So that's why Prabhupada says, just to exist in Kali Yuga, especially in this material world, it's so hard just to exist, just to keep up with the things, with the responsibilities we have. So much needs to be done. But of course, devotees are different. Devotees keep everything Krishna in the center, and that is great. But otherwise, people in this material world, karmis, they work very, very hard day and night for some sense gratification. And that is the illusory energy of the Lord. Then there are vikarmis, are mad materialists who act for money and sense gratification without the guidance of Vedic knowledge. So there are karmis, there are vikarmis, different gradation of people. Vikarmis are those who don't care about what Shastra say. All they care about eat, sleep, marry, and be merry. Somehow or other, I need to enjoy. All they care about is money, their sense gratification. Don't care about whether you drink, whether you eat, whether you have illicit sex, whether you go for gambling, whatever it takes. Exploit the material world, exploit the resources, exploit the body, and just try to extract some juice from there. They are vikarmis. Don't care about guidance of Shastra. They engage in impious acts and degrade to miserable births in lower species as animals and trees. But they are going to get what they deserve. All their activities of ignorance simply serve as parabhava, their defeat. Whatever they do is motivated by ignorance because they don't know anything, they don't know Shastra. So, because they don't know what is right, what is wrong, which is ignorance, they engage in those activities. But the reaction will be there. These activities, it is said, a little bit pleasure and there is a lot of misery, especially when you break the regulative principle. There may be some pleasure in in drinking alcohol or whatever, in intoxication, in illicit sex, in gambling. Maybe some pleasure there. Meat, some people may enjoy a little bit in ignorance here and there, but there is mahadukha, a lot of suffering. So ultimately, everything they do brings to their defeat. They are vikarmis. Then karmis are those who desire material profits. They perform Vedic sacrifices, gain pious credits, and attain to the heavenly planets. Karmis are those who act according to Shastra. They don't engage, don't break the regulative principle. They are sincere. They have some kind of religiosity, but their ultimate goal is the benefit, like do this yagya, get this, worship of Ganesh, get this, worship of Lakshmi, get this. Diwali is coming, many worship Lakshmi for money, especially in Indian tradition. So they are pious, they perform Vedic sacrifices, gain pious credits, they get material profits. They want material profit, they do get material profit. Because of their worship according to Shastra, they also go to heavens. But after exhausting their pious credits, they return to the earth. This is Bhagavad Gita 9:21. Krishna says, they may do many pious activities, good, follow one ashram dharma perfectly, help all of the living entities. Because of the piety, they may get entrance into heavenly planet. They may exhaust their piety. Once it is exhausted, they come back and start again. So it's temporary. The benefit is temporary. They want material desires, they get material desire, but the benefit's temporary. Then there are satkarmis, are firmly established in Sattva Gun and are dedicated to performing virtuous deeds. There is karmis, satkarmis. Karmis, mode of passion, ignorance, influence, want material desires, perform sacrifice according to Shastra, attain heaven. When their piety is exhausted, they come back. Satkarmis, mode of goodness, pious, follow the Shastra, do not sin, don't sin. They are satkarmis, but again they go to heavenly planets. They perform virtuous deeds. There are so many people who do their work very nicely, who are in sattva gun. They eat very frugally. They don't engage in an illicit relationship. They don't drink. They are very good people. So they're Satkarmis, means they're still Karmis, they're following Vedic injunctions, but then they're in Sattvagun. And again, the result is heavenly planets and come back. Then there are Gyanis, are knowledgeable people who understand the higher values of life and the futility of fruitive acts that bind one to sense enjoyment and oblige one to transmigration. A Gyani is liberated from ignorance and the three modes of and the three material modes. Gyanis, they aspire Brahman realization. They also transcend the three modes, mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. They become liberated. So much better. And we also see that this is yoga ladder. There is karma yoga, higher is jnani yoga. Then the next stage is bhaktas. A jnani knowledge is impure, incomplete because jnani doesn't know Krishna, supreme personality of Godhead, and their understanding is tinged with the impersonalism, and so it is not, the knowledge is not pure. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, ninth chapter, that this knowledge is very, very pure. But the knowledge of Gyanis, because there are so many interpretations. Today also we met somebody in Lansing who are more like, they have some conception about we are God. So the knowledge is not pure, it is incomplete. Even if they know something, they don't know the absolute thing. So Gyani's knowledge is impure and incomplete until he comes to bhakti and directly surrenders to Krishna's lotus feet and worship him. Such a great soul Mahatma, Krishna says, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. A premi bhakta loves Krishna deeply. Higher than Gyanis are bhakta because Gyanis may get liberated, but their knowledge is impure and incomplete. But when they surrender to Krishna, they come to know more understanding than Gyanis. And it's sat, it's pure, it's full, complete. Take shelter of lotus feet of Krishna. They start developing, and among those who develop love for Krishna, they are very nice. And then gopis are the best of all premi bhaktas who develop unalloyed love for Krishna because they don't want anything other than satisfying Krishna. The gopis, their only desire is to give pleasure to Krishna. They don't want anything for themselves. We see the example of when Krishna was sick. We heard that Krishna said, the dust of my pure devotees can free me from sickness. Narad Muni went to everybody. Nobody was willing to give the dust. When Narad Muni went to the gopis, gopis said, take the dust. Narad Muni says, you know the reaction for this. You are putting your feet on the head of Krishna by giving your dust to him. And Gopi says, even if we have to suffer in hellish planets for time immemorial, if our some act like giving the dust remove Krishna's pain, headache, then we are okay to do that as long as it gives pleasure to Krishna. There's a very, very advanced stage where one becomes so much attached to Krishna that their only pleasure comes from giving pleasure to Krishna. Right now it's very much highly unrelatable to us because of our deep absorption in our bodily identification. Um, But like just for example, think in this way. Prabhupada says the closest form of love is mother's love. Mother is quite selfless to the child. She wakes up whole night many times. Even if she doesn't want to cook, she cook for the child. She make them study. She does a lot of sacrifice just to give some sort of pleasure or to help the child. So that love is to some extent quite selfless actually. So when the love becomes very, very deep, then only these symptoms are possible. We can understand in this material world also through mother and child. They don't expect any return from Krishna. They never forget Krishna, although Krishna seemingly causes them suffering by leaving Vrindavan for Mathura. But actually the gopis are always thinking of Krishna, and this Vipralamba Seva or thinking in separation is far better than serving Krishna directly. So first is they don't, because they love so much, their love is very selfless. It's only it's only about gopis can sacrifice their lives, their pleasure, their comfort, as long as they can, to see a smile on Krishna's face. And for their service, they don't want anything from Krishna. Vishnu also tells Indra, my devotee doesn't want anything in return. Prahlad Maharaj said but asked me for something. Nrsimhadev asked Prahlad Maharaj, said, my lord, no business dealings here. I just want to serve you unconditionally. And if you ask a pure devotee, what do you want by serving Krishna? They say, well, give me more service. Just keep me engaged in service. But you are engaged. And what do you want in return? I don't want anything. This is pure bhakta. We see Maharaj Ambarish did not even ask for his own life. Of course, these are very high symptoms, but an understanding of it is sufficient. They don't expect any return from Krishna. They never forget Krishna, although Krishna seemingly causes them suffering by leaving Vrindavan for Mathura. When Krishna left, the Brajvasis, they never forget Krishna. In this material world, we see when there is divorce for some weeks or some months or maybe 2 3 years, there is turmoil, and then they are in their own new life and they enter into new relationship, and life goes as if normal, and they don't care about the old. So there is no love. It is said in material world is only lust. It is a temporary manifestation. It is a perverted reflection of love. But there is pure love there. And it is said when Krishna left, the river was flowing. A new river started flowing in Vrindavan. And that new river was made from the tears of the Gopas and the Gopis out of love for Krishna. And usually in this material world, the love fades with time. There is a saying in this material world, out of sight, out of mind. So everything diminish here. But that's not love, because that is lust. That's why out of mind, out of sight principle is there. There, it doesn't matter, because the love for Krishna is so deep, it only increases. That's why there is a principle of Vipralamba Seva. They serve in separation. And they can serve in separation for throughout. When Krishna was in Mathura, just it keeps on increasing the love. So this is completely transcendental, spiritual by nature. This is the love of the gopis. Then Srimati Radharani is the highest of all the gopis. No one can excel her service to Krishna. Even Krishna cannot understand her attitude. So he took her position and appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just to understand her transcendental feelings. Even Krishna fails to understand the bhav of Srimati Radharani and her love for Krishna. Gopi's love for Krishna is itself so selfless. And their, by our Goswamis explain their love as a mustard seed compared to mountain compared to mustard seed, like Radharani's love compared to the love of the gopis. So love of Radharani for Krishna is just incomprehensible. Krishna himself cannot comprehend. And that's why Krishna, in order to experience that quality of love, he himself comes in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so this is there is nothing. We can never attain the love like Srimati Radharani. Those who want, different people have different relationships. It is possible to experience love for Krishna in Madhurya Ras, but Srimati Radharani, that's why it is said the ecstasy that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited in separation or in longing for Krishna, it is not possible for any living entity to exhibit that kind of ecstasies. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he read Chaitanya Charitamrita, he understood without a doubt that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the greatest saint, and he understood that he came in Radha Bhav to experience love for himself. That love is just incomprehensible for jivas. Sri Radha Kund is the most exalted place and is as dear to Krishna as Sri Radha. How much dear? Now imagine this much love Radha Rani has for Krishna, and Radha Kund is as dear as Srimati Radha Rani. So, obviously, Srimati Radha Rani is physically not present with us. Imagine Radha Kund is physically present with us. Just imagine. Imagine if Radharani is there in front of you, what would be the situation? If Radharani is there in front of you, Krishna is there, because Krishna never leaves Srimati Radharani. So imagine if it is said that Yamuna is there, Govardhan is there, Radha Kund is there. Same, still there. So how dear it is to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, and it is Radharani's own pond, how dear it is to Radharani. We see the Goswamis who live there and perform their bhajan there. Personally, Radha and Krishna would come by sheltering Raghunath Das Goswami from the hot sun, by protecting him from the Bagh, the lion-like Bagh. Krishna himself came to protect. How many reciprocations these Goswamis have in when they were living on the bank of Govardhan, on the foothill of Govardhan, on the bank of Radhakund in Vrindavan. How much reciprocations they have. Those reciprocations are not possible anywhere else, because that is where Krishna lives. Vrindavan is Krishna's home. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Vrindavanam pratyaja pad ekam na gacchati. Krishna doesn't even take one step out of Vrindavan. Krishna is always there. When we go to Vrindavan, we can believe, we can think, oh, where is Krishna now? Krishna is always there in some form. The Sant, Mahants, they say in some form Krishna is performing his pastime still. Even in Prakat form also Krishna can take different forms and perform pastime. A Prakat form Krishna is always there. That's why the Goswamis made their residence in Vrindavan. So nothing can compare to that, but one can get the same benefit by mentally deciding there also, because we are wherever consciousness is. That's why we say pure devotees carry Krishna within their heart. So Radha Kund is still there. The love of Radharani is incomprehensible, and the love of Radha Kund is simultaneously incomprehensible. Most exalted place and is as dear to Krishna as Sri Radha. So everyone, Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu, Tasya Kundam Priyam Tata. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu. Just like Radharani is dear to Krishna, Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu, Tasyam Kundam Priyam Tata. Likewise, Tasyam Kundam Priyam Tata. Kunda, her Kunda is as dear. Sarva Gopishu Saivaika Vishnu Atyanta Vallabha. And among all the Sevikites, among all gopis, Srimati Radharani and her Kund is the topmost. So everyone interested in Krishna consciousness should ultimately take shelter of Radha Kund and execute bhakti there throughout their life. Rupa Goswami recommendation. Anybody interested to perfect their life, ultimately take shelter of Radha Kund and execute bhakti there throughout their life. But Radha Kund, although it is the most glorious place, we may not be able to understand it till we get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And once we get his mercy, then our heart and our mind will naturally be attracted to Radha Kund. See, Vrindavan is glorious, Radha Kund is glorious, Govardhan is glorious. But how much attracted we are to Vrindavan, to Govardhan, to Radha Kund is based on how much mercy we have. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says he used to go to Vrindavan, but he did not feel anything. But when he read Chaitanya Charitamrita, when he started chanting, then his meeting with Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, his initiation, then after practicing, and once he was exhibiting that stage of Ashakti, and when he went to Vrindavan, Vrindavan revealed completely differently to him. So how these pure devotees, how they perceive the Dham and how perceive the Dham is very, very different. The more now, it's not necessary like Prabhupada at the very fag end of his life, at the age of 70 plus, he left Vrindavan to preach, to serve his Guru Maharaj. But then he never left Vrindavan. Prabhupada said, Vrindavan is my home. But whenever Prabhupada would become sick, Prabhupada would tell his servants, rush me to Vrindavan immediately. Prabhupada again and again went back to Vrindavan and took shelter of Vrindavan. Then he would go out like a warrior. He would preach against Maya. And then he would take shelter again back and he would be very relaxed, like how one is relaxed at home. Prabhupada was very relaxed in Vrindavan. But Prabhupada stayed in Vrindavan for 10 years also. So there is a lot of glories in that. But then what will we do now going there, even if we go there? Because if we have no attraction for that place, what will we do? What will we do after going there? So that's why service to Lord Chaitanya. Service to Lord Chaitanya will bring the mercy to appreciate how much appreciation Prabodhananda Saraswati has for Vrindavan, how much appreciation Rup Goswami, who wrote Vrindavan Mahimamrita, and Raghunath Das Goswami, and even our contemporary, like Prabhupada disciple, like Ainda Prabhu and others, how much devotion they have for Vrindavan. And it is only by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya that one can have such attachment. How much attachment Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, they all have for Vrindavan. And the Prabhu says, even if I'm sick, even if I need hospital, their faith in Vrindavan, that I will not go anywhere outside Vrindavan. If treatment is not possible outside, I better die, but I will not leave Vrindavan. That is a lot of mercy to get to that attraction also. Best sadhaka among the many varieties of sadhakas, one who performs bhakti while residing on the bank of Radha Kund is the best and dearest to Sri Krishna and is the most fortunate person in the universe. Prabhupada says most fortunate person is among all the sadhakas who reside on the bank of Radha Kund. That sadhaka is the best and who is dearest to Sri Krishna. But it cannot be done artificially. One devotee, after reading Nectar of Instruction, he said, Srila Prabhupada, I want to go and live in Vrindavan on the bank of Radhavan. Prabhupada said, no, you stay here and do your service. So he said, no, Prabhupada, I want to go there, chant 64 rounds, live on the bank of Radhakund Vrindavan. And Prabhupada says, don't try to mimic Haridas Thakur. You go there and you will fall down. And he actually violated Prabhupada's instruction. He thought Prabhupada want me to go because that is the best sadhaka Prabhupada writes, the best among all the devotees. So don't try to become best because everything is based on the mercy. First, do sadhana, perform, attain purity, attain perfection, attain taste, attain attraction. Then Prabhupada said at the end, Prabhupada says, um, um, mm, work now, samadhi later. Prabhupada says, work now, samadhi later. Service first. And Prabhupada said, the fag end of the life, when you have developed deep attraction for Vrindavan, for Radha Kund, for Govardhan, when you have developed that kind of mercy, Prabhupada said, then you can decide. You can either go and live there and perform sadhana, or you can be wherever you are and perform sadhana and seva. Rest assured, if we are sincere in our sadhana, as we become pure, these things will be revealed to us within our mind by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, and we can attain perfection anywhere. Yet, so this is practically what is like what Prabhupada wanted us. But yet, we should respect those who are those. But still, Prabhupada says, among all many varieties of sadhakas, one who perform bhakti while residing on the bank of Radhakund is the best and dearest of Sri Krishna. Dearest to Sri Krishna and is the most fortunate person. And if someone is really residing there with their heart, something on this, my Guru Maharaj, his name is Radharani Swami Maharaj, he says, people who are outside and serving the mission are able to access Radha Kund and Vrindavan and Govardhan more than those who are residing. Because sometimes people just, not very mature and go and reside there. It won't help. That's why it's emphasis on the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A pure devotee in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feeling, Aprakrita Bhav renders loving service to the divine couple of Shri Radha Govinda who perform their Ashtakarya Leela. A pure devotee in spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feeling renders loving service to divine couple Shri Radha Govinda who perform their Ashtakarya Leela. And it is said that the highest stage of devotee, highest stage of pure devotee, highest stage of sadhaka, they, in their spiritual form, they render service to Lord Krishna. And Ashtakarya Leela, Prabhupada describes Lord Krishna's pastimes with his devotees in 8 periods of the day. There are different names. Nishant Leela is pre-dawn pastimes. Pratha Leela is morning pastimes. Purvahan Leela is forenoon pastimes. Madhyan Leela is midday pastimes. Aparahana Leela is afternoon pastimes. Shayam Leela is at dusk. Pradosha Leela is evening pastime, and Ratri Leela is midnight pastimes. Sadhaka who performs smaran meditate on this pastimes. The purest form of sadhaka who has attained perfection in their spiritual form, they serve the Lord throughout the day. Lord Krishna performed various pastimes throughout the day, in the morning, afternoon, evening, night. There are many pastimes of Lord Krishna that happens daily, and the purest form of sadhaka, when he attained the highest perfection in his spiritual body, he serves the Lord. This is like, we are talking something, I don't know how many lifetimes ahead of us. But still, there is something like this that exists is sufficient for us to know at this point of time. Then the last one, of the many object of favor and of all the lovable damsels of Raja, Radharani is the most treasured object of Krishna's love. There are many damsels of Raja, which is basically gopis, and they are all object of favor of Krishna, but Radharani is the most treasured. Similarly, Radha's divine Kund is very dear to Krishna as described by the sages. Radha Kund is rarely attained even by Premi Bhaktas like Narada. What to speak of ordinary bhaktas practicing Vaidhi Bhakti? What to speak about us, Prabhupada says? Even those who are Premi Bhaktas like Narad Muni himself is very difficult for them to actually access Radha Kund. Radha Kund cannot be accessed by physically visiting there. Radha Kund can be accessed only by revelation, only by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya. If one simply bathes even once in its holy water, one's pure love of Krishna, like the gopis, is fully aroused. Rupa Goswami explains the importance of bathing in Radha Kund. Rupa Goswami says, and Prabhupada also mentions in the purport, one bathing in Radha Kund can arouse prem, can awaken love for Krishna. Prabhupada also says in the purport, among all the form of devotional service, like we have hearing, we have chanting, we have remembering. Among them, the chanting is topmost. And Prabhupada says, interestingly, in the purport in this verse, 11th verse, Prabhupada says, among all the forms of devotional service, Prabhupada says the most important is bathing in Radha Kund. Prabhupada says. Means it is even more important than chanting is bathing in Radha Kund. So Prabhupada defines. And Prabhupada says Radha Kund is so rarely attained even by pure devotees like Narad Muni, even they find it difficult. But that does not mean so many Babajis who live there and they criticize Gaudiya Acharya. There's so many people out there. It doesn't mean that they all have attained Radha Kund. Just by residing on the bank of Radha Kund, you don't attain Radha Kund. But it is because one can physically reside there, but then ultimately how much attraction we have and how much is the holy dham revealed to us, that is based on mercy, cannot go by externals. So last couple of slides. Why is Radha Kund so exalted? The 10th verse describes the glory of Sri Radha Kund, and the 11th verse intend to evoke steadfast faith on Radha Kund in the hearts of sadhaka. You see all the three verses just glorifying Radha Kund, 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 Radha Kund. Among all the devotees, among all the places, Radhakund is the highest. 10th is among all the devotees. Radharani is the highest. And the deepest love for Krishna and amount of love Krishna has for Radharani, same amount of love Krishna has for Radhakund. And this verse describes about the importance of bathing in Radhakund. Even one bathing can fully arouse prema. Steadfast faith of Radhakund in the heart of sadhakas. Sri Radhakund is the most select place for those interested in advancing their bhakti in the wake of girlfriends, sakhis, and confidential serving maids of Srimati Radharani. It is the most suitable place, especially for those who want to have a relationship with Krishna, like those of sakhis or manjaris. Sakhis are friends of Radharani, manjaris are younger friends of Radharani or younger servants of Radharani. Rupa Goswami and Goswamis, they are in manjari forms. Rupa Manjari, Sanatan Goswami is Lavanga Manjari. Lokanath Goswami is Manjulali Manjari. Raghunath Das Goswami is Rati Manjari. Gopal Bhatt Goswami is Guna Manjari. Jiva Goswami is Vilas Manjari. So in that way, those who are specially interested in Madhurya Ras, for them, the most suitable place is Sri Radhakund. Those who are eager to return to Goloka in their spiritual body, Siddha Deha, should live at Radhakund, bathe there regularly, and take shelter of the confidential serving maids of Sri Radha and serve her under their direction. We saw in the 8th verse about Raganuga Bhakti, where you follow one of the resident of Vrindavan. We discuss about Ragatmika Bhaktas, Raganuga Bhaktas, and Vaidhi Bhaktas. And those who want to follow a servant, Srimati Radharani, or a Sakhi of Radharani, Manjari or Srimati Radharani, for them, bhajan at Radha Kund is most conducive. So first is living in Vrindavan, and then living in Vrindavan for those who are Raganuga Bhaktas. Again, we are talking about lifetimes ahead, but just for the sake of understanding. These things will be repeated in our nectar of devotion discussion also in more detail. But those who are Raganuga Bhaktas, who want to have a particular relationship with Krishna, especially those who want to have a relationship in Madhurya Ras, Doing bhajan in that mood on the bank of Radha Kund is the most conducive way to attain that. Even if one cannot live permanently on the banks of Radha Kund, one should at least take a bath in the lake as many times as possible. Prabhupada says if you cannot live there, at least you should take a bath there as many times as possible. One will obtain the topmost prema by transcendently residing on its bank, aloof from all material desires. Live there. You cannot live there physically. Prabhupada says transcendently reside there. Aprakritavas. Prakrit means physically. Aprakrit means in a transcendental form. You live there. So one will attain that topmost prema by transcendently residing on the bank, free from all material desire, and then transcendentally bathing. Aprakrita snan in its waters and performing deep meditational worship, Manasa Bhajan of Srimati Radharani, or following one of those servants of Srimati Radharani on the bank of Radha Kund in a aprakat form, transcendentally situated there, bathing there, following. This is like the internal mood of a Raganuga Bhakta, internal bhajan of a Raganuga Bhakta. Culmination of bhajan, living at Radha Kund, the pure spirit soul, aprakrita jiva, should externally take constant shelter of Harinam, internally in one spiritually perfected eternal form as a gopi, render service Srimati Radharani by deeply meditating on Sri Krishna's Ashtakarya Leela. Something that we discussed. There's a culmination of bhajan, like the last phase of bhajan, just before one goes back home, back to God, at the last, which is called the Bhajan Rahasya. Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes this in his book Bhajan Rahasya. Is living on the bank of Radha Kund, transcendental living, if not physically living there, following the footsteps of one of the maid servants Srimati Radharani, and remembering the pastimes of Lord Krishna throughout the 8 prahars of the day, or throughout day and night. Remembering Krishna and remembering Radha and Krishna and serving Radha and Krishna as one of the, or following one of the maid servant of Srimati Radharani. This is the last version. Attaining Goloka, thus, after giving up one's material body, once who become perfect in this, internally in one spiritual perfected eternal form as a gopi, render service to Srimati Radharani while deeply meditating on Sri Krishna's Ashtakalya Leela. It's a very in-depth statement, which is written by Srila Prabhupada. But after giving up one's material body, one will attain an eternal spiritual body and be engaged in direct eternal service to Srimati Radharani. And after one becomes perfect in doing bhajan of that stature, as soon as he gets a body, he will be engaged in eternal service to Srimati Radharani and attain Goloka Vrindavan. So with that, we come to the end of the NOI course. And let's see if anyone has any discussion today. Any questions? Okay. Thank you all for joining. So we will end here. Vanchakalpatarubhesha kripa sindhubhe evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। धन्यवाद, प्रणाम प्रभु जी, माता जी, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, थैंक यू प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
थैंक यू प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
थैंक यू माता, हरे कृष्णा, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।